All right, we're on. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Give everybody an applaud out there. I was having trouble getting on. It said it wasn't available, but we're in now. So, first and foremost, I'm the truth serum. I try to entertain, I try to tell good stories, try to keep you in the mix. I talk to the people live that come in the chats. So, that's something unique to my channel. I'll try my best to be entertaining. Thank you for the folks that come in here and support me. I truly appreciate it. And Mr. McCarthy, thank you so much for your support, and everybody else that comes in and supports me. So I really appreciate that. What I want to talk about today, my good people, go get yourself a coffee or water. Come hang out with the Truth Serum for a little while. We're gonna try to get to 1,000 subscribers, so we're on our way. Led Zeppelin, let's go. So you run around these clubs and you run around. I was a run around guy. My godfather was an enforcer for the Colombo family, and you run around characters and a lot of different people here and there, which is understandable. And uh, you get some guys that run. I was just a run around guy, and you get people that try to brag and try to say certain things and more or less innocent, but a lot of times you got to be careful about who you're saying you're with this crime family or that crime family, and sometimes it's just innocent gossip, people trying to portray things, and but um let's get to the juice, folks. There was a guy, we'll call him Big John. Big John. He got out of prison. He was a dangerous guy in the mob. Very dangerous guy. We'll call him Big John. He used to come around the racetrack, and he would stand near my mom. And I don't know if he knew my father from Brooklyn originally or not, but that's neither near here or there. But so he'd be standing there, Big John, nice suit, good looking. He had just got out of prison. So I'd have the racing form and I'd be studying. So he said, "Hey, what do you like?" He's being friendly, and he had a bankroll. He had bankrolls, and I go, you know, he wasn't really that knowledgeable on what uh what the bets were, how to read a form, to make a choice on a horse race. He was really green. Um, and we connected a little bit, and he was putting up the money for me to make bets, and we did real good. We did real good together. And uh, there was a guy that was from a town, this guy, and he was a bookmaker. And one of my close friends, God rest his soul, used to bet with him. And then and my buddy lost a lot of money to this guy. We'll call him Jack. We'll just call him Jack. So my buddy lost a lot of money to Jack and everything. And sometimes he would get behind, and this Jack would try to shake him down, like you try to shake him down and really try to intimidate him. So I told Big John about him, and he knew who he was. And I says, well, he was running around saying he was from this crime family and everything. This guy says, uh, no, not at all. This guy, what? What family? Well, he says, I'll talk to you next Saturday when you come. I said, well, he hangs around on the other side of the racetrack. And he walks around like a big shot, and he thinks he's Don Corleone. He walking around, and he says, just hold on. So I told my buddy, don't worry about that guy shaking you down anymore. And so I never liked the guy anyway. So Big John approaches him one day and he says, you're not connected to any of these families or whatever you're talking about, blah, 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 and all this. And he can't read Big John. Now, this Big John is a linebacker, bruiser, bulldog, been in and out of prisons, a rough customer, a dangerous, dangerous guy. And he's going, no. He's trying to, and then he's trying to get disrespectful. And Big John says, no problem, no problem. I used to like to go walk out after the races. I used to like to walk out to say goodbye to Big John because he would help me out. We were winning money and he would throw me money and everything. So I'd like to walk all the way to the car or whatever. And we're walking, and toward the back of the parking lot, it's a little darker. I says, there's that scumbag over there. You know, what? He went over there and he says, you think you're real cute? And now this other guy's looking at me like, oh, what, like it's my fault. And he told him, defend yourself. And then the other guy was a big guy too. The other guy was a big guy. And he was 20 years Big John's youth. He was 20 years his youth, younger. And they went to smashing and everything else. And they all blamed it on me. That I got him riled up and everything. I said, no, he can't walk around here trying to intimidate people, claiming to be part of a crime family and then doing all the wrong things. And he was making money in an area that they more or less let him make money, the families or whatever, but they weren't going to second guess Big John. And I go back to the races, and some of this other guy that got beat down, some of his friends go, oh, look what you started. I says, don't you start. Don't you start. The guy's a bum walking around the track trying to intimidate people, claiming to be with a mob family, and he's not. And then we got a real enforcer from a crime family that's friends with me, my mother, and my niece and nephew. They were young at the time. And there's another story where this scumbag said something about my niece and nephew or whatever. It was fresh, and it pissed Big John off even more because he was very respectful with my mother and everything. And I think Big John knew that we didn't have a lot and everything like that or whatever, but he was generous. Now his friends are coming around. Oh, you did this. I says, you're hick bums. This guy's running around. You're kissing his behind like he's Don Corleone. He's nothing. And then he's claiming to be part of these big mob families, which he's not. And so I was at the OTB one day. Wyatt Earp, Philly Bob, the New York Jets 15. Thank you, New York Jets, for your support too, and Kimmy too, and Philly Bob and Wyatt Earp. I was at the OTB, and this other guy, the Wannabe, he come in there. He usually just went to the racetrack. He never went to the OTB. And he says, I want to talk to you. I says, listen, there's nothing for us to talk about. There's nothing, you know. I'm sorry you got put in a hospital. I'm sorry. You know, he got this Big John. He had catcher mitt hands like concrete. But the other guy was big too. And he used to walk around acting so bad, but he couldn't fight at all. He could not fight at all for being as big as he was, walking around talking all that smack, trying to intimidate people and everything. And so he's, I want to talk to you, Jojo. I want to talk to you, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, okay. He must have found out through the grapevine during this period of time when he was licking his wounds who Big John was. And they must have been saying, wow, this is a dangerous guy. You're lucky you only got a beating out of it. And he's telling me, I don't want any trouble. I'm getting out of town. I'm not going to bookmake anymore. I'm not taking the action. I don't want any problems. For as much of a scumbag the guy was, I kind of felt sorry for him a little bit. I mean, just as a Christian, just as a Christian, I felt sorry for him. And I says, you know my buddy that still owes you money? He don't owe you anything anymore. You know my other buddy that you tried to freaking put hands on over there? He don't owe you any money anymore. Is that established? Or otherwise, I'll just go back to Gene and say, you're running around OTB talking much more smack. He's going, no. And believe me, folks, that's Bush League. I don't like to operate like that. And so, and I said, that other charade you pulled about my niece and nephew playing video games over there, it didn't even make any sense. What were you inferring to? He's going, oh, no, I had a couple of drinks or everything. I should just turn this guy just loose on you, So he was like, no, because he was making money, bookmaking. He was making good money, and he just didn't want to mess that money up. And he didn't want the big city guys to take over, which eventually they did. That's another story. They actually took that over. So I said, you got to chill out. You're going to have to help me out financially, bro. This is coming. This is coming because as far as I'm concerned, we're enemies. We're enemies. So he handed me some cash in good faith. He said, bet some horses and do this or that or whatever. He did hand me some money in good faith. And he was like, when's Big John coming? Because he would come on the weekends, and this guy would come on the weekends to collect from people or, look for people that are stiffing him, which is the nature of the game. And I said, well, you guys are going to be there on the same day. So he's going, can we get together and come to a truce and things like that? I said, sure. So we get there, everything, and I run in to the other guy first, and I says, well, Big John usually comes in over here. I'll get him. Wait near the bar, blah, blah, blah. We go over there. And I don't know for the fact that Big John knew my either godfather, mother, or both prior, and just out of this other clown saying something about my niece or nephew really burned him out, and or him claiming to be some mafia guy connected to some family which peed him off also. But he really had it out for this guy. And so fast forward, we go over there and we meet, and Big John says, Jojo, start talking. I'm like, what do you want me to say? I don't know, you guys. Well, I don't want no problems and everything. And this guy still has some wounds on him. This other guy still got some wounds, still got the shiner, when the shiner is wearing off and it goes from purple, blue to beige, whatever. And I'm like, You just figure something out. I want to gamble. I want to pick some winners, Big John. Let's rock and roll. So he says to the guy, what do you think you owe JoJo? I'm like, well, we're on to something here. We're on to something, you know. Out of that disrespect, you're not going to just walk away like that. So he said a number. He gave me a couple dollars. And I says, Big John, I also told him to uh, alleviate a couple friends of mine that he tried to shake down pretty aggressively, that lost a ton of money to him, and he tried to shake them down. I told him to also alleviate whatever outstanding money he owed. He said, are you going to do it? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. They don't owe me nothing. He goes, but they can't bet with me anymore either. So Big John said, that's understandable. Just leave it at that. And so that's a lot of guys. And then this other guy, he left town eventually. Yeah, he left town. And they thought I instigate. See, there were people running around that were like, oh yeah, some connection, these wannabes that like I come straight out and say, I was nothing. I was a go get the coffee and bread guy. I was nothing. I was an errand boy. I'm not trying to claim to be what I'm not when I was running around these guys. Yeah, I was around these guys, these wise guys a lot, but that's all there was to it. But there's these guys that would run around. There was another guy up in the fall. He used to come around. Yeah, my uncle Pete, my uncle, and then I'd ask one of the wise guys, and they're like, "Oh, he gets drunk over there all the time at the club. He gets drunk, and he starts talking about all this stuff. Hey, buy stocks. Wyatt Earp, New York Jets. Thank you for your support, folks. Yeah. Did I actually say Big Gene? The New York Jets 15? I thought I was saying Big John to throw you off. Who are you, bro? Who are you? Okay. Because there's another guy that's still around, and forgive me if you watched the video. Forgive me. I tried to change the name, but I got stuck. I don't mean anything because there's some relatives that might be around, and forgive me, okay? I loved Big Gene. I loved him. So, okay. Thank you, the New York Jets 15. Thank you. And thank you for your support, too. I appreciate it. And Mr. McCarthy, I appreciate your help and everything. And everybody else, Kimmy, everything. Mr. H, Constable doesn't sound like a wise guy name. Constable, no. I don't know Constable. No. The New York Jets. He ran with Big Gene. Them guys were specialists in bombs, and them guys were making, well, I don't know. My great uncle got bombed, and he had an artificial leg. Great uncle Russ. But them guys, they were making bombs, and any from Rochester, Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Brooklyn. Like I say in all my videos, it does not matter where your geographical location is, because Rochester was crazy, along with Buffalo in the fall. But Rochester was really beyond psychotic. I don't mean to insult or anybody who's related. I mean, but they were off the chain. Yeah. And they were bombing and everything. They were bombing. Big Gene, he was true blue, and he was really good to me. He was really good, and you got the wannabes running around, and they don't like that. They don't like that. Now, I don't mean to bring up. See, they were old school Cosa Nostra. They were old school Cosa Nostra. But forgive me, I don't want to bring up Mike Francese's name, which I am, but for him to go on interviews and put in the titles of his videos, former mob boss, that is so uncalled for and so frowned upon to claim rank that you're not. And it is what it is when it comes to Mike Francese. It is what it is. And you know, it not good, not good. But he does his hustle, and God bless him. He does his hustle. He gets his views and subscribers, and he does his thing. I know I've talked a lot of smack about him and everything, but when people want to really know about the mafia and Cosa Nostra and what they are really true to, Mike Francis knew that was so totally uncalled for and such a flagrant thing. And he knows, he's very smart enough and to know when he was putting those things just to go on YouTube and build a channel. I respect everybody's hustle, but he knew that's a no-no. That's just a no-no. And of course, everybody's gone. Persicos are gone. Lengalos, they're gone. He knew, the light turned green and he could, free wheel on social media, and that's his hustle. Buy stocks, they put a button on him and they told him, go do this over here, whatever bookmaking was going on. And we met up in the streets with my godfather because they were chiseling me. They were chiseling me when I was delivering bread and milk. They were chiseling me, and he got straightened out. But I remember him telling me one time, I says, I don't want to do this. I was getting in trouble with, I was putting myself in bad situations, but he was actually nice. I got to give him that much. He was actually nice. And I was ready to pass out in the damn streets of New York. It was hot and my mind was going crazy. And he actually was trying to be nice. He was trying to be nice too because he knew who my godfather was. And so, but that is, whatever it was, it was. And, I showed that video about, I put my phone up. If there's new people in here, I showed the history of that tax scheme, No, they don't like it when they say, no, he's not his biological son. Allegedly, I'll just say allegedly, he's not his biological son. Okay. No. Yeah, he'd get pimp pimp. He'd hear the old pimp pimp. So that's as far as it goes with Mike Francis, because that if he's so true blue and bet at Cosa Nostra, not even for a YouTube channel would he put those titles in. So if you're assessing people's motives and motivations and some of their characters and how you judge and perceive some of these guys, well, that's something that's very important. If anybody's even interested on who's legitimate and who's not, or if it's just entertainment, that's cool. But that's a true blue indicator. If somebody's really wants to know who and what was this guy doing, wasn't no shot caller. So if he was true blue, he wouldn't call himself a boss. not even in the street, at a restaurant, or on social media, doing interviews all over the world, online. He would never do that. If he was truly blood Cosa Nostra, no, not for nothing, not for views, not for subscribers. And he was still sitting on all that money from that gas. So, but I'm not trying to bash him anymore. I'm not trying to bash him. I'm just saying those were some of the things that led me to those videos. That's all. It's so opposite Cosa Nostra. It's the opposite. What he was doing is the opposite. If people want to know what is what and they just watch stuff, and some people want to know the legitimacy of things or not, yeah, okay. Yeah. I know they were all getting scared when my godfather said, if anything happens to my godson, yeah. My godfather was down there in the streets of New York. They had 2 cars full of wise guys, and he got right up and he talked it right to their faces. And I was like, geez, I'm going this way. I'll be standing over here. I want to go home. You can't go back to Kansas, Dorothy. Mm, mm. I want to go home. Somebody changed my diaper. So I got a small channel, and there's a lot of Mike Francis fans and Samuel Bull. I understand that. I'm a Joey Merlino fan, and I'm a John A. Light fan, and everybody bashes them too and everything else. You're going to get that. You're going to get all that stuff. John A. Light, if you watch this, I got $1 million idea. Go through the messages and the thing and contact me. I got $1 million concept, that automatic concept. I got to get that out there, folks. So there was wannabes running around. There was another time, we'll get it in there since I got my good friends in here. Sometimes, this isn't edited or anything. I just roll on. But as I'm talking, sometimes things come to my mind. Whether they're real or fake, I don't know. Do I just dream it up? I don't know. Allegedly. Everything on this channel from day one is allegedly. Okay, you know why, folks. There's this other guy, and he was cool. He was a cool dude. And he would come in. We'd talk some sports. He'd come to the club and just generalize. You see people, and then sometimes you might hang out with them to talk 5 or 10 minutes and things like that. But I usually like to just get in there and out of there. But sometimes you'd have to wait for somebody, and then you bebop around. So there's this guy in there. He used to come in. So we had a little rapport together. And he was saying, yeah, my uncle is this guy, and then my cousin is this guy, and my cousin is that guy. And I knew who those guys were, those names. I knew who those guys were. And I used to see them at the racetrack or at the off-track betting and everything. So I ran into them, and I said, hey, you got a nephew that goes over to the thing? Blah, blah. And they're like, no. Well, he's claiming all this and that and stuff. So they're like, well, when's he come to the club? I said, yeah, maybe fish fry, and Friday or Saturday come in there, hang out for a little while. I said, no, it's okay. Maybe, and I'm like, geez, I don't want to start, what do I have? I just cause trouble? What am I, a troublemaker? You don't want to see somebody but they don't like it. Joe Ruffino, how you doing? And I had just happened to go up to the club. I had to give somebody a ride. You know, I gave people rides on a Friday or Saturday night. And I see the guy at the bar. I said, "Hey, I saw those guys at the racetrack. They says they don't even know you." "Oh no, you must have told them whatever." Now I reside in the Twilight Zone. I reside in the Twilight Zone because one of the other guys come in and looked, and I went, "Oh, geez, this guy's gonna come search this guy out." And it seems like I'm a troublemaker and I caused it because I didn't have to tell them there's a guy that claims that you're the uncle and the brother and all that. You know, I didn't have to say that. Jeez. And so I catch him and I says, "Yeah, that's the guy. But listen, he was thinking of somebody else." And you go, and he's like, "Hmm." So these guys, man. Now there's couples, older couples eating at the eating fish fry. You know, a nice night, pleasant, nice, calm and collective and everything. And he recognized he said that's like whatever past, I don't know, whatever past doings or who knows who or where they hang out or any of like that kind that no good. He grabs him and just swings him, and everything went over. Well, there was only one person at a table, and then another guy came from the back, and then this guy straightened out real fast. They cleaned everything out, and I was like, "Geez, I'm a troublemaker over here." Then I had to explain to Sam, What is wrong with you, Jojo? What is wrong with you? That's not your place." Ba 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 ba. Whatever, like. Mm. But these guys would run around sometimes, and they don't like when uh people, because see, sometimes if somebody gets busted, some regular civilian gets busted or something, and then they claim they're running around saying they claim to be with a family, and then they turn it into conspiracy with family members. See, there's a lot down the road that could happen, not just somebody trying to be a wannabe. There's a lot more things and fallout that could happen down the road. And then they're bringing wise guys in saying, "Oh, this guy made a statement. He, but you don't need any of that stuff. It's just nothing good could come from it. Nothing good." So that was happening with people, and I would see some regular friends that I had known, and they're like, "Oh, they were hearing stories like I was with Al Capone and all this." It's like, no, 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 I don't do nothing. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. And then they're going, "Yeah, my uncle's cousin's brother was with," and they want to be in there, they want to be in that mafia family game. I don't know. It don't mean nothing. I still like the guy the same, whether he was a plumber or a captain of the Gambino. I'm gonna like the guy the same. They try to put some fluff on it. Yeah, my cousin's uncle's brother's nephew. But it was like, "Oh wow, that's pretty cool, Tom. That's pretty cool. Wow, he was really connected." So you get that stuff, which is understandable with psychology and everything else like that. But it got a few people hurt that were claiming things that, like, and that's why. And then you take that to just like being innocent stuff like that. Would you just say these runaround guys talking out of the side of their mouth? That's not an innocent thing. That's why when I stress about Mike Francis claiming to be something he wasn't on such a higher level, that's why I'm trying to show you the psychology behind it. That's really a flagrant foul, because there's a guy that should know better. He should know better than just run around guys getting drunk. Oh yeah, my father's a captain in the Genovese family. Mike should know better. And that's why, I think I wasn't even a made man, but I still think how them guys thought that were true blue to doing life in prison or getting whacked. They were true blue to the end of their life, whether being in a casket or in prison. They were true blue to the end. And that's why I respect that. I honor those codes and I honor how they respected that fraternity. And then you get then you get Mike calling himself this and that, which is fraudulent to me. That's fraudulent. I mean, and he should know better. He should know better. Even if you attain to be a captain, here's a pen, you're a captain. So even if he achieved that rank as a captain, he should know better. A street soldier knows better. A Joe Blow knows better. So you guys understand now? The New York Jets 15. I really appreciate your help. Mr. H, buy stocks. I appreciate your help. Joe Ruffino, I appreciate it all. Leon Swan, where have you been? Mr. McCarthy, I really appreciate your support. I never got support like that for freaking 2 years, 430 videos. I never got support like that. And forgive me that I got a little bent out of shape and everything. I'm sorry. I'm only human, but 99.999. I love it that you view my channel. I love it that you subscribe. We can interact here. It costs money on the other channels to interact. That's why I got a little goofy that day. But as long as you subscribe and view my channel, come hang out. I'm open to questions. You know how I do it here. And we're getting there. It's a long road, but hey, I enjoy it. I enjoy it because on this long road, I'm stopping to smell the roses, which are you people, metaphorically speaking. So I'm psyched. I'm happy. I'm pleased. We're alive. All the options are open for you folks. You got all the variables. All the options are open. Bam! Hit it out of the park. Boom! Bow! Hit it out of the park. Hit it right out of the park over here. We talk about stories. I got a story coming up in the next soon. I do these every day. Where this guy, and I don't even know, I would talk to him. This guy was a Renaissance man, and he was connected, and he would be so intellectually on another plane, and I could go blow to blow. I can go blow to blow with him intellectually, and he was versed on a lot of stuff. And then he would morph into Lucifer. I don't know what happens if there's demonic possession or something that, or just psychosis, psychopathy, split personality, like Carrie. I don't know, but I forgot about this guy, and we used to smoke cigarettes in the parking lot outside of the club, and we got to be friendly because sometimes we'd be waiting on somebody two different people. Sometimes we might be waiting for the same guy. Oh, you're waiting for Rick? Yeah, I'm waiting for Rick. Well, and I would be hanging out or whatever, and he was very impressive. But boy, I'll do that tomorrow or the next day about this guy and what I found out about him. Woo! Mm. You guys know I'm fascinated with human behavior and psychology and all that kind of stuff. But you wonder what turns people, what's the evolution of that? You know, at 7 years old, he was on the minor league baseball team playing prep baseball and everything, just fairy tale. And then, boom. I don't know. Is it just mental breakdown? Demons? Is it demonic invasion? Demonic? There is spiritual warfare out there. You know, it's a spiritual war going on out there. Angels and demons are real. Wonder about such matters. Fascinating. And you know we'll unpack it here. Okay, we'll unpack it. You know. So Joe Ruffino, the New York Jets 15. I appreciate you guys. Kimmy, the shapeshifter. Speaking of the shapeshifter, see, that's good. I like to interact with you guys because speaking of shapeshifter, I got mad at the boss one time, and he's 70 something. And I said something disrespectful because I didn't feel safe. And I was telling him, you have no control over these guys, blah, 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 this and that. And I saw, now he got to be a high ranking person. So he must have earned his wings, so to speak. He must have earned his wings, and he must have been a rough house customer in his youth. But just because he's 70 years old doesn't mean he still doesn't think like bing, 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 you know? So I was saying something and I was getting so PO'd and everything. And I crossed the line and I saw his pupils change. He smashed the table. You know, he said some things, and I saw his eyes, and it gave me the chills. And I'm going, I'm sorry, 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 I'm sorry. And then I fled. I fled. And then another guy said, Joe, get back here, get back here. And I was hanging out in the kitchen. And he said, what are you crazy? He's going, why are you talking? I heard you, whatever. He says, what are you, nuts? And I said, you know, and then it got evened out. But I seen him and I wanted to make sure his eyes changed back before we had any further dialogue. Let me look at those eyes. He looked like he was changing into a reptile or something. I thought I seen freaking lizard scales on his face. You wonder why I'm nuts? You wonder why I'm nuts? I thought I saw his face morph or something. For complete demonic possession evil. I don't know. But it looked like the complexion of, I probably said too much. You guys probably think I'm nuts. But yeah. There's a story in my book where a friend of mine I was going to pick up, okay? This was before I OD'd and I was being attacked by demons. And we'll throw it in right here because you guys are good enough to come hang out with me. So it was all set for me to pick him up. I'm in the guy's driveway, and he was being, well, he knew I was in the driveway. So I get out of my car. My car's running, and uh, I stand up. So I'm waiting to see the door open. I had to give him a ride, and he comes. He stands near the door, and uh, I look at him, and he looks at me in complete terror, and he runs back in the house. So I'm, what the hell's going on? So I take off. I'm going, this guy, I'm never giving him a ride again, whatever, blah, blah, blah. What the hell is he doing? And I was knocking on the door, but then I get out of there. Then I talk to a family member of his that I'm close to, very close to. And I says, what happened with T? What happened? And this is what I heard. He said, oh, he said that he saw your face, your head do a 360 and look like a creature. I said, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, he said that your face changed and your head did a 360, and that's why he ran in the horror. I seen he looked like complete terror. Well, I'm just standing here waiting. Come on, let's go, bro. In the meantime, he thinks he saw a demonic face, and he said my head did a 360. I was under demonic attack. I was not long after that. I was on life support. You know the story. So, hey, Joe Garcia. Hey, man, you caught me again? Everything's good. Everything's good here. So I just thought I'd throw in that because Sam, the boss, he changed. I don't know if it was a complete shapeshift, but that kind of stuff wasn't even out back then, you know, like the reptilian thing, or I don't know, like the elitists, they tell the elitists, stuff like that. But you know, uh, that's him now, the reptilian. How do you know I was talking about him? Woo-wee. I'm gonna end up in a freaking mental institution. Somebody, you guys gonna have to look me up and freaking come visit me or something. All right, help a guy out. Wow, there's no coincidence. I don't know, but I have fun. I have fun because I got an army of angels. So I know who my army of angels are. I guess I've said a lot here. We're gonna do a story about. No, I can't. No, there's some things I got to be careful about. There's things I just got to be careful about, no matter what. But I'm gonna talk about this guy that was like Satan himself. It's so weird that he could change. His face didn't change, like morph, but man, and I thought when I first meet people, you try to get a feel for them. And, you know, you're dealing with a lot of wise guys, and you try to get a feeling, a sense of this person and, you know, so their character and stuff like that. But I was really wrong about this guy. And out of all, like most of the people, like that I thought were just nice and they changed, this guy surprised me the most. And the things that come out of his mouth, you know. So that's that. Thank you for coming in, hanging out. I appreciate that. If you hit the like button, the share notification, subscribe, of course, and tell your friends about the Truth Serum. Well, and I appreciate it, my good folks. And New York Jets 15, thank you. And Kimmy, thank you. Mr. Rufino, Joe Garcia, Mana. Thank you, Mana, for coming in here and help a old guy out. I love having fun, and I love love and compassion. And let's be the kings and queens of our worlds. Don't give up, folks. You're going to get there. Start it here, and then it becomes real there. It starts here, and it shows up here. God bless you all. Thank you for your support, and we'll be back tomorrow or the next day to talk about the Renaissance psychopath. Thank you. World bless you, and belated happy Easter to all of you. Good day.